Hey guys, welcome back to the Small Biz Artist. If you missed out on my last video of the introductory of what this channel is, definitely go check it out for a quick 5-minute recap. Today we're going to go into the first look into our evaluation of the business and personal life and how everything's kind of lining up, and what my personal life needs from the business in order to succeed as a full-time business and not have it be a stress on the personal stuff. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to write down just personal assessment. I don't even know if I spelled that right, but we can pretend it's spelled right if it's not. The first thing I want to go over is finances. And this is kind of like a scary thing to look at. Like, where is your financial health? Where are you financially? Like, what are you spending and what debt do you have? So I will be transparent here, and I do have student loan debt. It is drastically better than it used to be a couple years ago because I've been working very, very hard to pay as much of it down as I can. I have a private and a government loan, or federal loan. So I'm just going to write that down, private and federal. Now, the reason that I'm noting that is because I know there's a lot of talks for forgiveness for the federal stuff. I'm not holding my breath on it, of course. If you are, great. I'm not. But it is considerably less than my private loan, even with the interest rate. So it's really not a priority. Theoretically, if I tried really hard, I could knock that down this year. But because the interest is much higher on my private loan, I'm kind of doing what they call an avalanche method, where you pay the highest interest debt. And that's what I'm doing, because I have a financial goal I want to take the private loan down to. So a lot of that is about, I'm just going to say it's around 32K. And again, for transparency purposes, I started out with almost 100 when I graduated, and I was like 21. So it's come a long way. And whatever your situation is, that's you. You do you. But for me, I want to pay this stuff down. I have about 21K for the private, and I think it's like 12 for the federal. So when I break those numbers down, that's really not that bad to me. I do have a day job. I don't get paid a ton. I get paid like just your typical, I guess, salary. I'm not salaried, but it's like a typical, mid 5-figure job. And by 5-figure, I mean I was going from 20K working retail, and I make double that ish now. So it's better, not great, not where it should be in my opinion, but it's something that I can work with. So that's kind of where I am. Now for finances, if I want to go and get this business full time, I want as little debt as possible. So I'm going to have to kind of make sure that as I'm building my side business and making that functional to be more full time and more profitable and more drive in income and sales, I want to make sure that this debt is as little as possible. So if I were to say my goal for the end of the year is to be as debt-free as possible, I would probably want this down to, let's say, end of year goal. This, I mean, like I said, I'm not holding my breath on the federal, but it's not a priority because it's a lower interest and lower amount. So it's not like compounding a lot of money with the interest. This one's probably going to be down to 10. This one I want to be, if I can get that down to 18, I'd be in a good spot, because then that's a total of 28K at the end of the year, which doesn't seem like a big jump from 32, but that is. I ideally would like it paid off, but I don't have the free amount of cash flow to do that. So knowing this, I can kind of like adjust for my side of business how much of that income would I earn from that. I do have a 3D printer in the background, so I apologize for that too. How much of this do I need to contribute my earnings from my side business into the debt? And right now, anything I earn extra that I'm paying myself with from the business is going towards this extra debt. And that's good. It's a very good thing, but I need living expenses, right? So if I can get rid of most of this debt, then I have more money coming from my self-pay from the business, towards my living expenses. So that's what we're going to look at next. So I've actually already done this. I think last year, like how much I spend in a year on a lot of different categories, and that includes food, that includes like personal items and bills. So my bills, I don't have any extra like I don't pay for Hulu, I don't pay for Netflix, things like that. I think the only thing I have is really Amazon. So my bills are primarily energy, water, phone, internet, the necessities, the bare minimum. I've already set myself up for that. I do get Hulu free with my phone, but that's about it. Personal items are like personal items are going to be things like shampoo, toothpaste, things like that. Maybe clothes. I don't buy a lot of clothes. I just don't. And then food. And I do have a category for like miscellaneous stuff, like gifts and things like that. And when I did the math of a yearly spending, and also if you don't know how to go back and track your spending, you can go through your bank statements, or your bank might have a categorical spending tracker already where automatically will track things. I would check that out if it does. My bank does. I don't know if they all do. But you can go through your entire transaction for like even just a couple months and see kind of where your spending is for a lot of these categories. And you can just kind of like, all right, so 3 months I spend this, like, I'll say 5K in total on this. And you can just times that by, let's say quarters, there's 3 quarters left. So that's like 15K a year, theoretically, that you're spending on these things. And you can just up that to 20, just to round up. I think if I were to knock out any extra expenses, including debt, I think it would be around this much I spend a year on everything. So, and that's without extras, that's without splurging, that's without going on like, oh, I want to buy this because it's on sale. So now knowing that to basically have all my living expenses together, that's the number I would theoretically want to pay myself a year from my business in order for it to be full-time without me doing extra side work. This does seem like a lot of money that you'd be paying yourself from a side business, but if you're going full-time, it's very important to know what these expenses are, because if you're earning a lot from your side business, and we'll get into that in the next video, you kind of need to take into account like, oh yeah, I need to spend this much money on merchandise and materials and whatever else. And then you kind of forget you have to pay yourself, and then people are starting to live paycheck to paycheck where you're like, oh my gosh, I have a bill. I need to pull that money out. Oh my gosh, I don't have the money for it. Or you have to start making some difficult decisions of, well, I guess we're not doing that product launch like we wanted. And I don't want to run into those situations unless absolutely necessary. Like worst case scenario. I don't want that to be the norm. So my personal assessment, this is basically where I am and where I need to be, even with debt. So this is actually pretty doable, in my opinion, for a side business if I work really hard towards that goal. Obviously, like I said in the last video, this isn't something that's going to be done overnight, but I can build up my business and my spending habits to get to this number pretty, at least set the foundations to get to that by the end of the year. Not earning this much from this side business, just in paying myself by the end of the year, but I can say, all right, I need to work up to this number. I need to increase my sales to get there, all that good stuff. But anyway, that'll be in the next video. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And I will note this does not include a mortgage or anything. That's like its own thing. And I do have someone I live with, so it helps with the mortgage. But for my personal finances and paying and what I'm responsible for financially, that is what I need. And I think this also includes savings, like putting money aside each month for emergencies and stuff, because you cannot have a successful personal finance anything if you don't have some sort of emergency savings. But I also know how to live dollar to dollar and stretch that really far. I've made a lot of life changes to get to a low number like this, especially with food, where almost everything I eat is made from scratch. I try to grow some of my own stuff, which is an expensive startup, but the return on investment on that is pretty good. I don't have to, especially with herbs and stuff. Anyway, tangent there. Yeah, so that's basically it for the personal overview and the personal assessment of where everything is. And the next video, we're kind of going to go over the business assessment and where it is right now. Like, how is it looking financially? How is it looking in terms of follower, products, all that good stuff. All right, so thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it kind of gave you an idea of where to start on your business journey and how to go from a part-time business owner to full-time and what it might take financially to get there. Like I said, if your numbers are different or you have different ways of going about your finances, it's totally fine. This is just what works for me and what my financial goals are and thoughts. Let me know what you think down below and what you plan. If you do plan on doing this yourself, what does it look like for you? Can you get your living expenses lower than mine? If so, that's awesome. If they're a little bit higher, that's totally okay. In the next video, we'll start looking at how we can make that work. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video, and I will see you then.